The world is dying. Not in an instant, not in fire or flood, but in slow, creeping, withering decay. The land fractures and crumbles, the rivers shift and vanish, and with each passing year, more of what once was is buried beneath the weight of time. Welcome to Lorenthar, a place where civilization once thrived. Its people lived in towering cities beneath vast emerald canopies and across endless golden plains. Their knowledge stretched beyond horizons. Their power touched the stars. The gods themselves walked upon the earth. Now, those cities are husks. Walls shattered, towers collapsed, streets buried in ash, dust, and overgrowth. The great forests rot from within, their roots twist through dead soil, grasping for whatever life hasn't already fled. The mountains split, peaks have crumbled, and the valleys below choked on stone and silence. As for the rivers, most don't give life anymore. Instead, they carve deep wounds into the earth, and those who enter them are bathed not in water, but in slow-burning caustic acid. As for how this happened, no one knows. Not truly. The truth has long since been swallowed by time. The elders speak of a reckoning, a cataclysm that shattered the world and unshackled something terrible. But the details, the why, the when, are dust now. Centuries, maybe millennia, have passed since it all fell apart. But whatever did this, it left the world bleeding out. There is one thing that is certain. There is no going back. The golden age of Lorenthar is long gone. What remains is a world dying in slow motion, tearing itself apart, one breath, 1 inch at a time. And yet, even in a world this broken, things still cling to life, to hope. Scattered across the land are small pockets of defiance, havens, carved from ruin by those too stubborn to die quietly. They dig into stone, huddle beneath shattered towers, or grow like fungus in the shadow of dead gods. Some fail within the season. Others endure. You are of the latter. You've endured, you've survived, you've thrived, and this is where our story begins with a party of 5 survivors. Caught you off guard there.
Son of a bitch.
Your steps carry you beneath a sky choked by branches into a place where the silence is never empty. Welcome, players, to Lorenthar. Let me change the music.
She just waited for us to talk to fucking switch over.
Absolutely. So, with that said, in front of you, the great forest looms. Towering trees twisted by time and the ever-present corruption. Many have their bark slicked with rot. Others, their roots seem to crawl across the forest floor like a creature grasping for its next meal. With regards to the lighting, if you're lucky, you'll find a clearing. Granted, the skylight will offer a quick reminder of just how thick the air here is. Dust, spores, insects. Otherwise, the vast majority of the forest is lit typically by bioluminescent fungi. Their shades range from the blues all the way into greens, pinks, purples, a kaleidoscope of colour. And the deeper you go into the Great Forest, the more the forest shifts. Trees lean closer, and previously mapped paths vanish where they once weren't. One would wonder why anybody in sane mind or spirit would ever step foot here, especially since this is just scratching the surface of what the Great Forest encompasses. But survival rarely makes room for sanity, as we all know. And when blood is spilled and people don't come home, someone has to follow the trail. Someone has to see what's out there. Even if what's out there doesn't want to be found. And what waits this time is no mere animal. A beast wrapped in shadow and sinew, silent as death, swift as panic, and perhaps just as hard to outrun. You've all seen the signs. Deep claw marks gouged into the bark, some far too high for a average forest-dwelling animal. Black tufts of fur caught on broken branches, and an ever-present coppery metallic smell of blood. Coupled with the remnants of the last scavenger party that lie scattered beneath the trees, things such as torn sacks, broken blades, a smear of red where once something crawled, if only for a short time, you all know you're on the right path. Hours pass, maybe more. Time this deep in the Great Forest is hard to judge. but you do notice the surroundings slowly starting to change. Sounds, initially. There's no birds, no chirping of things in the treetops, no calls of animals. Nothing but silence by this point, and your own breathing. As you continue through the forest, a narrow path that's almost like a wound through the trees opens up into a larger incline, clearing in the Great Forest. Between the bushes and the barbed roots scattered around, you see a small ruin jut out of the earth. And that's, as expected, infested with all manner of weird and wonderful fungi growths. But at this moment in time, that's not the main thing that's got your attention. No, instead you are focused on the origin of a sound now in the silence. A slick, wet, slurping sound. Slow and rhythmic. And there, up the incline, is where you see it. An Umbra Claw. Its back is to you. Massive, low to the ground, black fur rippling over muscle as it's currently haunched over something. You see its limbs are thick with tension, large claws that seem to sink into the ground. Pieces of the rock that it's on have also been chipped away. It's large. In fact, it's too large. 15 feet long, 8 feet tall to the shoulder. A thing of pure aggression and predation. Beneath it lies a half-skeletal corpse. Ribs cracked wide open as a long purple tongue slithers out from the creature's maw as it continues lapping up strings of viscera from what you assume to be one of the lost scavenging party members. Then it lifts its head. Its face is bare of fur, stretched in sickly, pallid, pinkish, purplish, pale skin. And where a snout should be, the entire front of its head begins to peel apart, almost like the petals of a flower, revealing rows of fangs and teeth. Needles, almost. The eyes of this Umbra Claw are sunken and malformed at the side of its head, both of them twitching independently, similar to that of a lizard or a chameleon, as if it's seeing everything. At your approach up this incline, though, 8 barbed tendrils begin to rise from its back and start to curl in your direction, almost snake-like. The head spins round. The 2 eyes lock on you all. It doesn't hiss. It doesn't snarl. It simply straightens and watches. And you realize it was never feasting in the first place. It was waiting. Roll initiative. And with that, I officially welcome you all to Lorenthar. Good lord, that initiative roll.
Wow. That was... Oh my god.
Never mind. Alright, so with that, first up in this scene, as you all begin to climb this incline, who do we have?
Let's see. Did anyone get beat at 23?
No.
Okay. Well, weighing in at a massive 70 pounds and standing just under 4 feet tall, there's a green-skinned character wearing a little robe that hides his bulging enormous intellect. The only thing besides this robe that is stand out is he has a large side carry pouch slung that looks like it has been made from some type of tempered leather and has been through a lot. He has his blade at his side, but he looks like what you'd consider like a standard goblin, just a bit larger than most, and that's really it. Just nothing particularly distinct about him besides that.
As for your name and class?
And this is Eggle Trolltongue. Eggle, because, nobody really cares about the last names. And he is an apothecary. In his satchel, he has his unguents, his reagents, his other things. He's a bit of a scoundrel in his own way. The tools of the trade are always with him.
Excellent. Next up. Who are you? What do you look like? What do you do?
Well, I guess a rather diminutive figure considering the rest of the party. At 5'3" and well, we don't talk about a lady's weight, is Katrina. She is the only human presenting person of the party. She is carrying a spear, and she seems poised to do monk bullshit upon this creature's ass.
Excellent. Next up, who are you? What do you do? What do you look like?
Swear if this ruins my chances of a decent map. Which is a good segue into Thea. She's a fierce, determined individual with a grumpy expression. She has long, straight, dark red hair that very similar to Katrina's hair. That frames her face, and she has notably pointed ears that are somewhat elongated, and you will also notice that they're angled a little bit different than those of a typical orc. She also has some pronounced canines that are smaller than a typical orc, and you can see that these features in her appearance may look like the others, but there are some distinct differences, maybe suggesting that she has a mixed lineage. And her attire is very practical and kind of indicates a farmer or someone who would work the land, and that's exactly who she is. She's a farmer. She wears the layers, straps, and buckles, and kind of like a simple scarf around her neck, where it's kind of protection from the elements, and you can see that she has a muscular build kind of consistent with her physical demand of her agricultural work. She has a high disdain for laziness, so you know who you are in the group. She is a fighter, and her subclass is a scrapper, so she's more focused on, battle adaptability, utilizing improvised weapons. She has a knack for finding advantage in chaotic situations, and she's less about formal training and more about dirty fighting, street smarts, and doing with
smarts.
whatever she can at hand. Yeah, forest smarts. Yes.
Excellent.
The elements.
All right. Brilliant. Next up, who are you? Oh, mysterious stranger.
Standing, an impressive 7.5 feet, and with a quite heavy-set body, is the bone-festooned robe Grom. An old orc. Carrying a staff. Not so much to help him walk, but just a foible of his he likes to fit with him. On his shoulder sits a bright red pseudo-dragon named Rune. He is a warlock.
Anything further from you, Grom? Or shall we pass it
Not
to
right now.
In that case, we shall pass it to the slab of meat. What's the slab of meat? Who are you? What do you do?
The slab of meat is a slab of meat. This 8 foot tall, 6 foot wide, raging orc is Yorick. He is a barbarian and he is festooned in weapons. He has a great axe that is made out of. It has 2 flint heads, kind of tacked on with wrought iron, and he has what can only be described as a great sword strapped to his back. Although it's so big and unwieldy, it doesn't have an edge, so sword is up for interpretation. He is covered in scars, and he is quite clearly a warrior.
With the group now having the full attention of the horrific beast at the far end, this Umbra Claw, nightmare made manifest, pads with a large sharpened claw at the corpse, sending it skittering into the brush as it turns its attention now to you all. Before we begin, if anyone would like to ask any questions about the old beast ahead, or have anything they wish to say, now's the time.
Do we see eyes on it?
2. Both of
Big
them
yellow
seem
beady
to,
things.
two big yellow beady things, and that seem to almost work independently of each other.
So they're kind of like going all crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Yes. Absolutely. If there's nothing anyone else wishes to know.
Just about the creature as a whole, or can I ask what
Mhm.
movable things are in the surrounding area?
There would be rocks, pebbles, mushrooms, whether they're damaging roots, branches. Nothing overly large, but yeah, you'll certainly be able to get a couple of rocks scooped up. As for the creature, go on, Yorick.
I was just going to say, if I got hit by a giant mushroom, that'd be emotional damage. Okay.
As for the creature itself, it seems mostly feline, body-wise, apart from the corrupted mutations, the split jaw, the writhing tentacles. It's rather phallic and pale-looking back tail. Stumpy.
I hate it.
Good. With that then, Eggle. You're up.
All right, well, hunching down, Eggle is going to see this thing, and it's large. This is a bad thing. So, I'm gonna use a spell.
All right.
He's going to touch Yorick in front of him, and so the spell, did that go?
It did indeed.
It did. I'm going to put Bear's Endurance on him.
Ooh. So, what does your spell casting look like, Eggle?
Well, spellcasting is a loose term for this, but essentially what he's going to do is he takes out, of all things, like it looks like a syringe or a syringe, and just sticks Yorick with it. And the contents just, if this shock and alarm had everything picking up, just floods into his system, giving him this bolster of endurance.
It's the good juice.
And that is unfortunately all he's going to be able to do because...
Would you like to move closer?
No. No, I would not.
Okay. In that case then, Katrina, you're up. What are you up to?
Well then. Okay, well, let's do a thing.
So for those who have joined us in chat, hello, welcome in everyone. Thank you for the support. I will get to you at some point, but keep in mind that this is the first new characters for everyone, so we may take a little bit of time with the old combat while we all acclimatise to many new things.
So, Katrina is going to leap right into action. And since her weapon has reach, she's going to end up, if I have the right button.
Oh, good lord. Straight away with the ferocity points.
And the thing has to make a Constitution saving throw.
All right. So,
or be knocked prone.
As the Umbra Claw starts to turn and look down, immediately in a burst of speed, Katrina, you just blitz up the incline, spear out, and it loves it.
Okay, so he's not knocked prone, does take 8 points of damage, I believe.
Let's have a look. So, with the leap, this is a new... last campaign, we had the Grim Hollow transformations. This time, we're going with something called Ferocity, and it's a system where they get extra little actions and interesting mechanics just to basically make the characters more unique, more interesting. With Leap, you spend 4 Ferocity points and take the dash action to execute a massive leap up to your speed, landing with a sweep. Each creature within 5 feet of you when you end this move must make a Constitution saving throw or take 2d6 points of damage of your weapon's type, and their speed halved until the start of your next turn. Excellent. So with that, he takes 8 points of damage.
Yeah, and so what this looks like is like she starts charging and then pulls her spear out and kind of like pole vaults over him and lands 10 feet behind him. And that's my bonus action. So can I still take an attack action?
Yep, that's if you can dash as a bonus action, then yes.
I'm not sure if I can. Oh, well, actually, I could with Step of the Wind, but I don't know if I have that yet. So
no, at the moment, that's dash is classed as your action, so you just charge, pole vault up the hill, and stab into the Umbra Claw.
So that looks like it's going to be my turn.
Excellent. All right. With that, having just been stabbed, the Umbra Claw, all of the tendrils just straighten, stiffen for a moment as its head whips around, looks at you, Katrina, and it will use a legendary action. As immediately 2 of the barbed tentacles lash out towards you. These things have reach. First tentacle swings in. And the second also sweeps in. Both of them miss you as you're vaulting over the top of it. Thea, what are you up to?
Well, while it is distracted fighting Katrina, she is going to move forward. Oh, what was that?
I accidentally moved my character.
Right,
I heard a boing.
I don't know.
Did you attach a Mario jump noise to the least ability?
Oh my god, he did.
So then she's going to dash over here by the crew that was being eaten on.
Mm-hmm.
And she is going to take and rip out a rib cage bone.
Excellent. So, you lean into the bushes, snap off one of the rib bones, have it in hand.
And that will be her turn. She's just going to wait for her opportunity to leap out with the rib cage bone.
You're not going to attack with it?
My action.
Oh, your
was
action
a
with
dash.
dash. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Grom, you are up.
Right. Firstly, got to find the button. Hold. Gonna look at the creature and go and shout, "Face down!"
Oh. All right, so that needs to make a intimidation check from the Umbraclaw. It doesn't have intimidation, so this is going to go straight onto charisma.
That's unfortunate. It's against my intimidation, isn't it?
It is indeed against your intimidation.
Contested.
With its
Charisma caster for the win.
yeah, with its attention on Katrina, it just quickly, I wouldn't even say quickly, it just ignores what you've shouted. It seems that with you being so far away, Grom, it's taken absolutely no notice of you, meaning you get advantage on attack rolls.
Yep.
Or on all rolls, I believe, actually.
Yes. Only.
Yeah, it'll be all rolls for that.
Yep.
All right.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to move forward 1, 2 feet. That's far enough.
You sure about that?
Yep. And I'm going to cast Corpse Worm.
Okay. What's this look like, Grom? What's your spell casting? Are you a caster, or are you similar to? Grom?
No, I'm a caster. My staff is my focus, and the magic's actually produced from the empty eye sockets of one of the skulls hanging off the staff itself.
Awesome. What does this spell look like? What is it?
Oh, it's horrific.
It hits.
Yeah. So what happens? A slow beam of green energy seems to slither across the ground until it reaches the creature and then burrows in like a worm. And it's now inside the creature itself, eating it from the inside.
So it takes 1d8 damage as soon as the maggot or the corpse worm burrows into it. So it takes 10 points of necrotic damage immediately.
Yep.
And then as an action, on its turn, your target can make a melee weapon attack against... Okay, so... No, sorry, that's it. On a hit, Blah, blah, blah. As a bonus action on each of your subsequent turns, you can repeat the attack against the target. So basically, this worm's inside now, just eating.
I'm inside you, boy.
Awesome. Anything further, Grom?
Yep, I'm just going to call to Rune to fly, and it's going to go up 20 feet in the air
Okay.
and just go over to sort of hide in these trees.
So the little pseudo dragon just sets off, perches in the tree, looking down, surveying this forest clearing.
Yep.
All right. In that case, Umbraclaw, it's been stabbed. It's currently got a worm burrowing into its inside. It's not happy. It's going to use its second and last legendary action for this turn as its head spins around, quickly clocks Thea, and with a claw will swing out towards her. Unfortunately, it's got multi-attack. So it's going to attack twice towards Thea for a 21. So the first claw, as it spins round to look at you, Thea. Or it can... my rotation thing's balked. I shall sort that later. There we go. So yeah, as the first claw swipes overhead there, the second claw does hit. And you are hit hard. I say hard, that was terrible. 6 points of slashing damage as the claw scrapes across your back as you reach down to pluck the rib from the corpse. Yorick.
Just a minor flesh wound. I've had god flesh do worse than that.
So Yorick is gonna unlimber himself, roll his shoulders, take a sprint in the stance, and charge.
Excellent. What's that?
It's another four temporary hit points, and a dash as a bonus action. So I will move and dash.
Absolutely. Sprinting up the rocky incline, Yorick, you find yourself straight face to face with the Umbraclaw.
And with his trusty great axe in hand, he's going to give him the Eatus Deletus. I shall turn you into fetus.
Oh my god!
Yes!
The great axe.
Oh wait, no, that damage is wrong.
Yeah. I'll delete that because you need to roll a crit for that one.
Real crit damage.
Fuck. Alright. So. Let me delete the 11.
That's 2 goal points.
The axe comes crashing down into the sort of upper neck of the Umbraclaw. You carve out a chunk of flesh and you just hear this from the beast as it starts to spew blood out of its petaled mouth. Anything further?
No, that's my turn.
No, alright. The Umbraclaw's actual turn now. It's not happy. Having just had it's something inside of it's burrowing away and making it feel uncomfortable. It's been stabbed. And now an axe has just carved a chunk out of its neck. So, it is going to go in on its full multi-attack. The Umbraclaw makes 1 bite attack and either 2 claw attacks or up to 4 tentacle attacks. Immediately, the maw comes towards you, Yorick. 21.
Yep.
As this petal-like mouth unfolds, the Umbraclaw lunges forward and roll me a... let's go with... Oh, we've got new things. I forgot about this. Let's go with the... Survival. Roll me a quick survival check, please, Yorick. You fucking hell. Double crit. You see that the rows of teeth are razor sharp. No amount of armor or substance between you is going to reduce the damage this thing can do. Almost like the teeth in this Umbraclaw could rend you apart. So, damage from the old chomper is 13 points of rending damage. Now, rending damage is a new thing, and this is for special attacks that can't be reduced by usual means, such as Barbarian Rage or other bits and pieces. So it's basically just a flat damage. But that's only on the maw. It's then going to swipe towards you with its two claws. First claw. Second claw. Alright, first claw hits. This is just normal slashing damage from the claw. For another, that's 5 points of slashing damage. So yeah, as this, you just all witness the Umbraclaw latch onto Yorick. Followed by the first claw that swipes towards his legs, misses. The second claw gouges into his side.
It's 2 gold points.
Oh no. But with that, top of the round, Eggle, you are up.
All right, Eggle, seeing that everyone is now stuck in with this, is going to move up to the side. And going to try to contribute to dropping this thing because it is a actual monster. And so he's going to, from his bag, he snaps his fingers in a flicking motion and produces a poison needle that soars through the air at it.
So it does, puncturing straight into its hide.
And
That's good.
poison.
Boom. Now, this normally would be resistant to poison, but due to the type of poisons, it shouldn't have that from you. So I'll apply the other one more. There we go. Excellent. All right. So yeah, the needle flies through, slams into it, and immediately it just begins to hawk and call out, screeching in pain as blood pumps from the side. Anything further, Eggle?
I'm maintaining concentration for the bear's endurance on Yorick, so I'm going to say no.
Okay. Oh, I forgot about that. That came in use there, Yorick.
Yeah.
Okay, so next then, Katrina,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Seeing as how the Umbraclaw is focused on Yorick, she's gonna poke it up the butt with her spear.
No.
Or miss.
Or not. Its tail swings to the side, slapping the spear away at the last minute.
Well, level 3 Keck. That's my turn.
Ah, yes. Level 3. We are back to the low levels. It does have its actions, it's a monstrous creature, so it's got its legendary actions back, so it's going to use one of them as 2 of the tendrils will strike back once again towards you, Katrina. First tendril hits on a 19, second tendril slashes out and crits! Oh no! First one hits you for 2 points of damage as you are impaled by the barbed tentacle. The second one, with the first one almost locking you in place, the second tendril comes in for 7 points of piercing damage as these 2 tendrils just delve into you.
She's gonna grunt and just be like, Yorick, just a little more smack, please. I believe in you.
Let's fucking do it myself then, shall I?
Thea, you're up.
Thea just yells out, "For God's sake!" And then she does go for the eyes.
With a rib in hand, she's just going to plow this rib into its eye. That's awesome. So, if I remember rightly with these, you have to hit first. Is that right? With the dirty fighting?
Let me see.
When you hit a creature with a melee weapon, or when you use an improv, so you've got to hit it first before you can jab it in the eye.
All right, so she's gonna come up, and she's gonna try to, as it's like, fighting Yurik and Katrina, she's gonna try to start sawing at a tentacle.
You can still go for the eyes if you want to,
or go for the eyes. Yeah,
it's your choice.
Whichever is immediate in front of her. I would think going for the eyes would be great.
Yeah. So as long as you hit, you can then use your go for the eyes. And with an 18, with a 26, that rib is going in its eyeball. Do you want to stick with the go for the eyes?
Yes.
All right.
Let's do a go for the eyes to blind it. Is it just gonna blind it in that one eye?
It will be blind. It'll be classed as blinded. It'll hurt it. The whole thing will be blind. So as the rib sticks into its eye, I'm going to roll this at disadvantage because it's currently trying to fight off both Katrina behind it and Yorick in front of it. So with disadvantage, still passes. So you manage to stab the rib into one of its eyes. It howls, it recoils in pain, but due to the fact it's got 2 separate eyes, it doesn't seem overly affected. It's not blinded.
Now, if I was to have another attack, could I do that again?
I'd allow it, yeah, if you've got another attack.
Okay. So she's going to I can't.
Yeah, you've moved into its square. There we go.
So she's gonna use her movement to get to the other eye.
Okay.
She's just gonna crawl over it because it's kind of distracted.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm creating all kinds of issues.
Don't worry about it. You just wiggle underneath it. The tentacles thrash around. Some of them start impacting in the dirt behind you as the barbed tendrils try and hunt you down. But yeah, you just quickly scoot under, pop up on the other side.
So she uses action surge, and then it's going to use improvised weapon again.
All right, what are you grabbing? Did you grab 2 ribs, or are you grabbing something else?
Yeah, it would be another rib.
All right. So with the second rib in hand, you hoist it up, you hit it. Let me go for a disadvantage on the dex saving throw for it. And this time, you do stab the rib into its eye, causing it to squeal. You still do damage because you hit, so roll your improvised weapon damage.
Oh, did I not roll it on the first one? I probably need to roll it on the first one too.
You do, yeah.
Let me go find it.
My next question to you then is, did they break? Now, normally, since we're still learning things, I'd have been like, your first one, you didn't say it breaks, so you managed to stab it. But with this, do you want to say the rib breaks?
Yeah, so on this one, I think it does, because she wants to keep that jabbed in there so that he can't see. I don't want to take it out. I don't want to take the chance.
All right.
Let me see. Where would that be under my bar of the break?
It's classed as a weapon attack called Shatter.
I'll just pull it up on this.
So yeah, one eye's bleeding, the other eye's now got a rib jabbed in. You try and pull it out, Thea, but just it's stuck. It's stuck in there. And
Did it roll the?
It didn't. Just roll me an extra 1d4, and I'll sort that out later. As I say, there will be a few niggles since this is the first time we've run D&D in like a month. Just another 2 points damage, and it is also now blinded.
And since it is blinded, can I move out of the way without an opportunity attack?
Sure.
Okay. Didn't hurt to ask, but I would have used one of my my things. And she's just gonna kind of come in here and feel proud of herself.
Maybe Oric all on his own again.
Yeah, maybe if you weren't so lazy, you could, do as I do.
In that case, then, it's going to use its last legendary action for the turn as a monstrous creature to send tentacles in all directions. One of them is going to be in the rough vicinity of Yorick, so it's going to be at disadvantage, which misses, and the other tentacle is going to be in the rough vicinity of Katrina, which also misses. All right, Grom, seeing this scene, this carnage ahead, what are you up to?
Gonna rattle his staff and shout, "Consume!"
Side of the Umbraclaw starts to pulse as the corpse worm begins to eat. 9 points damage.
And you just go, and take a couple of steps to the side, so he's got a nice target. And the bread and butter.
The bread and butter. Eldritch Blast.
And it's blinded, you say?
It is indeed blind.
I've got advantage. Delightful. Two threes. Have a go.
As you extend the staff out to cast, this is when all of the tendrils begin to shoot out in all directions. Its body twists, contorts. The worm inside causes it to bend over on itself, and you singe a couple of bit of the fur from the back of the Umbraclaw, but just miss it by millimeters. Start as you mean to go on, mate.
Yeah. Back to me being a caster. And he's just gonna shout to Rune, "Circle." He's gonna go up.
Yeah.
And just stop there.
All right. So the little pseudo dragon takes to the air and then begins to fly around. Yorick.
Well, because he's on his own, he goes, well, let the blood flow and let there be carnage, as he fucking rages. And I'm going to hit him with the great axe.
All right. You get advantage because it's blind.
I get a. I'll just roll another normal
Roll
one.
another normal. Do you, want to,
24.
do you want to take the 13 or the 24?
I'll take the 24, please.
24.
Chef.
The axe finds its mark.
Oh, a scudge.
It's very good.
It's 15, and that's another go point solution.
No, no.
That's 5 go point solution.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And that is my turn.
That is your turn. Okay. In that case, with blood now pouring from 2 wounds caused by the axe, puncture wounds on its back from the spear, a maggot currently eating its inside, the Umbra Claw, in a fit of panic, perhaps, self-preservation, turns tail and with extreme speed begins to sprint away. First,
Do I get...
sadly not.
Sorry.
No, sadly not. This is similar to your retreat ability. Quicker than you can react, this thing sets off. It slams itself into one of the trees, careening around it as it gets on all fours and just begins to set off, leaving a trail of blood behind as it scampers deeper into the forest. Wounded, incredibly. But it's now on the run. What do you all do?
I'm going to tell Rune to follow it.
All right. Immediately, Rune sets off, following, giving you all a brief moment of respite. There is a trail of blood and a pseudo-dragon in pursuit.
Yorick is on the come down of his rage, so he's kind of just drawing patterns in blood on the floor. Where to go?
Eggle is walking up towards where everyone was fighting this thing because some people got cut up. And he's just going to point a finger off into the woods in the direction it went. It ran off. Now let me take a look at this. And he's going to start looking over where Yorick was scratched because he's the first one that went into the fray.
Katrina is kind of like patching herself up a little bit, and she says, "We should really go after it, guys. You know, that's gonna be, man, that'd be great, a great prize to bring back to Haven. All the crap, we could really use those parts."
You guys don't look so surprised. She usually says something silly before noon all the time. You know, I'm mildly displeased that it ran off, but it was waiting for us before. Who's to say it's not leading us into another trap?
You know, Thea, that is a very, very smart suggestion. And if we do go after it, we should be very careful. I'm so glad you're here. We should spend more time together.
Maybe
Well,
you
it's
should lead
wounded.
the way.
It's desperate.
Yeah, Yorick points at the pool of blood that he's made with the creature's blood. He's like, "That's what I think about your fucking trap." Picks up Eggle. He's like, "I got a scratch on my back. Let's go."
That.
Spear in hand, Katrina will follow Yurik.
Must be nice living in a world of rainbows and purified skull water.
Say something, little fang.
I'm not ignoring you, York. I'm just considering the optimal path to avoid your incessant chatter.
Okay. If Yorick is picking...
Yeah, I've sat you on his
I got
shoulder.
Yeah, he's going to hold on to the sword handle as like a way to stabilize himself, and he's just trying to be a second set of eyes.
All right. So you say you were doing a little bit of patching up before you set out, or has Yorick just basically said, no, we go?
Yorick has stopped him. There is no way he can progress because he has been absconded with.
All right. In that case, then, Gromit, anything in particular you're doing at this stage after sending Rune out to scout or follow?
I'm just keeping an eye on what Rune's doing, making sure he hasn't lost his trail.
All right.
Flighty little pseudo dragon.
In that case, let's go with. I'm going to want a perception check from someone. If anyone wishes to help, that will give that check advantage. I'm also going to need a natural law check as well, followed by survival. So basically 3 rolls.
I can do the natural.
Yep, go on.
I can do the natural lore check.
Okay. If anyone wishes to help on the natural law to give advantage, you can.
If Scob wants to do the perception with advantage, because he's the human totem pole.
Oh, help.
Yeah, we'll help. Be on the lookout. I can help with the lore if like she starts rambling stuff off and be like, no, you.
Yeah, so the natural law is more similar to the nature check. This is things such as following trails, seeing what's around nearby, looking for any dangers, and just general knowledge of what's around. So I'm actually going to quickly segue into the next little added thing that we've got in this campaign going forward. Our previous games, we've always found certain skills need expanding on, or there's always been that moment where it's like, oh, we really wish we had a skill for that. So in this campaign, we've basically got rid of religion because there's no religion. And history has kind of been expanded into local law, forbidden law, and natural law. Again, that also incorporates nature. On top of that, we also have Arcana has been separated out into spellcraft and arcane law. Because again, there will be people in this post-apocalyptic setting who know how to cast magic, they just may not know the lore behind it. So, yeah. Something that just allows a little bit more granularity for how we, as a DM and players, play our D&D games. Is it the right way? No. Am I going to get a load of flack on YouTube? Probably. But, this is how we play. We enjoy it. So, with that, we've got the wisdom, we've got the nature, the natural law. I'm just going to need, last but not least, just a survival check, please.
I can do survival.
Go for it.
Anyone else? Does anyone else oppose?
Nope. You called
Crack
it.
on.
Smith Hale.
You fucking sick.
Listen, you suck. I don't.
All right, so how this looks, along with Eggle and everyone on watch, you manage to follow the blood trails, with Rune still leading in a roughly northwesterly direction. You keep catching glimpses of him, and you manage to basically pick up the trail that the Umbraclaw fled. Whilst doing that, you, Katrina, would notice there are a few moments where either quicksand or quagmire, carnivorous plants block your way, and with a knowledge of how dangerous this forest can be, you manage to guide the party around them.
Cool.
Thea, you do lose not so much the track, but an easy path to follow the track. So you have to take a little bit of a detour. What's this detour like, and why does it go slightly wrong before you pick up the blood trail again?
Well, it's because she thought that the blood had stopped, so she started following where branches were being broken. And so she started leading them that way. And then, but then she kind of heard a little bit of a sound, a little bit of a scream or a whimper, and started heading back that way because she noticed that the branches weren't being broken anymore. And but ultimately kind of blamed it on everybody being slightly just not silent and irritating her.
Thea, I think if, yep, that's it. Okay, I'll be quiet.
Silence would be helpful at this moment.
What, you see with your ears?
They're big enough.
So hard. This way.
Picking up the trail, once again, you begin to make your way through the great forest. Parts would grow dark as the thick canopy overhead obscures most of the sunlight reaching the forest floor, but luckily, with the bioluminescent fungi that seems abundant, it's never truly pitch black. And on top of that, the years of how to put this, multiple generations of creatures breeding in the apocalypse has made it so that all inhabitants of Lorenthar at this point have some form of dark vision, dark sight. Granted, some may be able to see better than others in darkness, but even those of purely human heritage, we say with quotation marks, can still see in the dark. That's just how far this continent, this planet, has fallen. Eventually, though, you do reach a heavily wooded area, and you're presented with a cliff face, easily 30, 40 feet high. And in that cliff face, a circular cave entrance. Claw marks, feces, old bones scattered outside, but the most telltale sign being Rune circling above and the trail of blood that leads into this cave. What do you do?
Would Katrina know whether or not Umbraclaws are solitary creatures or if they have packs?
Roll me an animal handling check. Animal handling? Natural law. That'd be a natural law question.
Okay.
DC 10. smashed it. Typically, yes. Umbraclaws are very solitary creatures. The mutations that have ran through the feline species that it used to be, perhaps once a panther of some sort. Typically, the females, after mating, devour the males, but the females can grow to 20, 25 feet in size. This one being 15 is either a juvenile or potentially a male, so there is a good chance that it's on its own.
Well, odds are it's probably alone in there. How do we want to do this?
We send in Smiler first, and if she dies, we go in after.
Repeat that. I think
All
your
right.
teeth are getting in the way.
What?
I didn't hear you. Can you repeat that?
Yorick delicately puts Eggle on the floor and goes, "What?"
For goodness sake. I'll just follow.
That's what I thought. I'm gonna drop my greatsword. I go, I'm gonna go smash. You guys follow and give me a hand. Cool. Great plan.
Well, it's not as though this thing would set up traps, so just be careful. You never know.
Yeah, Rune said he limped inside. Looks worse for wear.
Good. We'll finish this thing and be home the day after tomorrow.
Not soon enough.
Yeah, I miss home too. Let's do it.
You got gumption. I like it.
Aw, thanks, Yorick.
Mm.
She kind of pats him on the elbow because that's as high as she can reach.
Thea's gonna roll her eyes.
I'm not sure I can get used to this. The roles are reversed. It's wrong.
The universe is turned upside down, and I don't like it.
It's almost like we did it on purpose.
I know. So, Yorick, taking point as you begin to approach the cave. I would imagine at this point Rune descends from the sky and nestles himself on your shoulder, Grom.
Yeah, he tucks himself in my hood, like round the back of my neck. That's where he generally sits.
Eggle, you're on the ground now, I heard.
Yes, he's following behind Yorick, ready to throw poison needles at people or creatures or whatever happens to be in here.
Excellent. So, with that then, you stride forth, stepping through the entrance to the Umbraclaw's lair. Here you're immediately met with the musky, stale, fetid smell of a beast's lair. Blood, now on the ground, leads all the way to a small crevice, a small gap at the far end of this rather low-ceilinged cavern. And before anyone does anything, shall we call our first break?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
There we go. So, we'll drop the banner. We'll have a finally have a chat with you guys on Twitch. Hello. It's been a month since we last streamed. We're back. Thank you very much, everyone, for the support. As always, it is appreciated. God, man, we've got some things to get through here. Oh my God, it keeps going. Callie, thank you for the 58 month. Lucius, 65 month. Thank you very much. Durs with the 51. Ravon then coming in with the 20 month sub. Lee with the 63. Ravon then threw 100 bits at me. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Diesel then coming in with the monstrous 73 month resub at tier 3. Chad. John Blacks, thank you for the 55 months. Yeti, thank you for the 11 months, nearly a year. Oh, and Steel also dropping the big numbers like an absolute unit. 73 months, tier 3. Ah, yes, thank you. Vexing Cat, thank you for the 4 months. Steel then gifted a sub to Kwai Mai. Hello, Mai, I saw you in chat as well. And then Deez, thank you for gifting a sub to Zericon. I saw him in there. So yeah, I hope everyone's been up to interesting things during our downtime, at least. We've chilled mostly. Some of us have been away on a break. I've been hard at work and making the bits needed for this, for Cradle of Ruin. So yeah, basically orcs. Lots of orcs and goblins. Savage, primal, apocalyptic, a long dead world on the verge of breaking down. Something about a withering. A little different compared to our last campaign. That was solely an urban endeavour. Yeah, look forward to seeing where this goes. Welcome back, Thea.
I'm here.
Are you glad to be back?
I really am. I mean, it's exciting. It's
Good.
exciting to play someone who is slightly irritated.
Rather than
Because it's,
wholly irritating.
yeah. Because it's truly how I want to act towards people sometimes, and this gives me an outlet.
Ah. As for the rest of you, I know a couple of the number have been chomping at the bit for us to get back into D&D.
What do you mean?
Well, that bitch delayed it,
I know.
right?
Yeah. All for the better. It means I had more time to plan.
I have been getting chomped by our new puppy, chat. That's what the squeaking sound is.
I'm on board. She is a cutie. All right. I think with that, Grom, Eggle, you two good? Yeah, that's a solid point. I agree. Whilst we wait for those two, anything from the party?
But how about you? Let's hear your
Me?
answer to your question. Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad we're back. I too have been ready for the D&D, for TTRPGs in general. But apart from working, not really much to report on my end. Just the constant creative grindstone that must turn. But again, I can't complain. I enjoy it. Welcome back, Grom. Welcome back. All right. So, with all of you now stepping into the lair of the Umbraclaw, What do you all wish to do? Or what are you all doing?
Yorick's spotted blood, so he's like, must follow the blood.
Eggle is going to be looking like up into the sides to see if this thing might like it's been unnatural, but he's kind of half expecting that this thing might be trying to lure them somewhere and like come at them from a different angle or something. So he's just going to keep an eye up into the sides.
Okay. Roll me
Did you say the...
So you go.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
Nope.
I'll let you go first.
Did you say that the blood trail went through like a crevice?
Yeah, just up ahead there seems to be almost a bend to the cavern.
Okay. That was my question.
All right. Roll me a perception check, please, Eggle. You do notice, as you begin to glance around, your eyes adjust to the darkness, that, yes, indeed, there are claw marks that seem to bite into the rock that go, again, up the wall, on the ceiling, so, yes, this thing can climb, and climb well.
To make sure that we have stuff on our sheets. Sign language?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. In sign language, he's going to just signal, be wary of the ceiling. Danger up.
To get a better look, is there any like areas where Thea could kind of climb up the wall?
I mean, it's a cave. You can climb up the walls, absolutely.
So she's gonna ask, Eggle, where do you see well, did you say that to the group about the claw marks?
No, that's
He just said the danger up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you guys.
He just said danger up and signal, like just
Danger up.
waving his hands around so that people could see, but he's just trying to raise attention to, like, the fact that this could be above or something like that. And he'll signal trap.
To get a better, like, vantage point to look at that, she's going to, because she has kind of a climber type thing, where she gains, like, speed of 20 foot and can grapple kind of like onto the walls. So she's gonna kind of climb up to see if maybe she could see a little bit better up.
Yeah, feel free to move around. Bear in mind it is a low ceiling cave. It's about 10 foot above you. And as you move around the edge of the cave, you do see it's circular, apart from this central rock pillar in the middle, and then at the far end, another smaller cave entrance that leads deeper in.
Katrina's gonna try and stealth around this corner to get a view, following the blood trail.
Give me a subtlety roll. See how sneaky you are. No? You move. There's various pieces of rock and debris on the ground that you do kick, and as you get to the corner, you would hear dripping of water.
But no visual on
the beast. No, it seems like an S-shaped corridor that loops round. Again, though, blood is present.
she's gonna turn around and try and catch Eggle's eye and just sign to him, trail continues.
He's going to put his hand up in a wait gesture. And come over here.
She's gonna tuck back
And it looks like
in there.
to him there might be more than one trail of blood here.
The other one's coming from Katrina.
All right. Yeah, no, that's what he's checking just to make sure. Then he's gonna actually come over here. Was it here? There.
What's this look like?
Eggle is going to come up and he's going to produce a small vial, seemingly out of nowhere, of goblin gloop, as he calls it, or goblin glue, and he's going to just smear it over where she's bleeding from to seal it up so that she's not leaking.
Oh, thanks, Eggle. I thought I'd got that, but
So he when he does that, he kind of becomes oblivious to everything else around him, and he just goes straight over and does that. He's not subtle about it because he's thinking that she's bleeding and also that this thing might be able to smell her blood.
Just give me a medicine check, please, Eggle. Alright, I'm going to say, with that being such a high roll, I'm going to let you restore 1d4 hit points to Katrina. Since you're throwing goblin glue on her.
Well, it's goblin glue, yeah. That's there, a point.
Excellent.
yay!
But yeah, that's his contribution here.
So with you patched up,
everyone's-
go on. Yeah.
While everyone's doing their things, Grom squats down in an orc squat with his staff resting against his shoulder. Pulls out a bag filled with bone shard, shakes them up, dumps them on the ground, and looks at. He asks the bones, "Is it a low?"
What do you hear? It's not so much voices, but
I hear a sort of chorus on the wind. It's not words per se, it's just a sort of semi-howl, you know when wind blows through an opening and it makes a sort of whistling sound. He cocks his head to one side to listen to the response.
you should have something in Foundry, Lee, on the roll window. Or Grom. Can you see that?
That's well good.
It is. It's something I found out recently. So,
Lock Magic 8 Ball.
basically, for those familiar with most with online games, if you type in /W space GM and then type me a message, it whispers the GM. We've only used Foundry for 4 years, nearly 5, I guess. And I've only just realised. So if anyone ever needs to whisper me something, rather than sending it on Discord, where I may not see it, you can send it directly to me on Foundry, where I will definitely see it.
Was that /W?
/W space GM. Yeah. And that sends me a message. And you can do the same to other people. So /W jump, /W Cali, /W Lee. Thanks. Yeah. Tar, you knob. Appreciate it. All right. So with that said then.
He slowly packs all the bones back into his little bag and places it under his robe next to his heart. It's alone.
Then we hunt. He's gonna sign towards there and ask if it's over there.
She looks around.
Definitely not. There is water, though. Seems to be rising up from beneath the cave.
Is it like continually rising, or
Not like flooding out, but it just there is a perhaps an underground well or an underground spring that's causing the water to basically fill a small pond.
do we know? Can this thing breathe underwater?
Probably not. Water is a scarce resource in this world. Most of the rivers are quite acidic in nature.
Is this one acidic?
No, it doesn't seem to be.
Okay.
You're not feeling the burn.
So
You're not hearing the hiss.
She will take her. I think she has kind of like a what would you call that? Like a skin,
Mhm.
kind of like
Water
a
skin.
intestine skin, like a water skin, and she's gonna fill her thing with water. And then kind of like after she fills it, like lift it up and kind of notify Yurik and Grom, who can see it, and point at it.
Grom will just nod and move towards where Katrina and Eggle are.
She'll follow.
All right. It's pretty much all on you now. How you approach this.
I'll just hand sign left or right.
Point my finger at Yorick's back.
Message. Smart.
Follow the blood.
Yeah, you still got the blood.
Then with sword ready, he's gonna bomb burst into the S-shaped area where the blood is.
All right. When you reach this point, around about here, is where I will ask for initiative roll. As
Okay,
you
yeah.
step into the cavern, you see Yorick, you first. As you make your way round, you see another small spring of water at the edge of the cavern, looping around the S. It seems to open up into a larger space, and the coppery smell of blood, of rotten flesh, is almost overpowering here. Unpleasant for most, but a smell that no doubt you are all more than familiar with. At the center of this gore pit, the remnants of one of the kills of food, is the Umbraclaw, currently trying to settle down into a makeshift nest of bones and hay. Blood splayed across the interior, and it's certainly looking worse for wear. Are you trying to make your presence known, or are you just keeping to the edges at the minute?
He said it's looking worse for wear.
Yes. Oh god, yeah.
Well, Yorick's about as subtle as a brick, so with that fucking howl and a scream, he's just gonna fucking charge right at it. Use an adrenaline rush to get there.
All right. I'll let you move in, and then it will hear you coming as you stomp in. Roll me initiative. Let's get this thing finished. And the old Umbra Claw needs its roll. Oh my good lord, this thing's terrible at the rolls. With Yorick in the process of charging in, Grom, Thea, you see what Yorick's about to do, and you immediately leap into action. Grom, you're up first. What are you doing?
Gonna stomp forward so I can see it. And look in disgust. And then fire an Eldritch Blast.
All right. Yeah. Oh, a 20 will do the job.
Nice. Get ready for this.
Badoosh. All right. Excellent. Its hits in the side, part of its flesh burns away. In fact, how do you cast Eldritch Blast?
Once again, I lift my staff, and from the eye sockets of one of the skulls hanging from it, the green energy just blasts out. It looks terrifying.
Awesome. Next up, if you've got any bonus actions, Grom?
No, because my maggot's not there. My worm's not there anymore. And
Your worm is still there.
It's only lasts for 1 minute.
For a minute. Okay. Yeah. I'm about to say it didn't have chance to pull it out or attack. It can't really.
Yeah.
It can't really gut itself to pull a maggot out with it only being a beast. Yeah.
Yeah, it only survives for a minute, so
okay.
Fine. I'll just tell Rune to take off and find a position in the shadows.
This place is a little higher than the other part of the cave. It's only about 15 to 20 feet high. So I'll put him at the top end.
Yeah, I want him literally on the ceiling.
Yeah. All right, Thea.
Thea is gonna, kind of shove Eggle to the side. And then move in. And then shove Grom to the side.
It's like shoving a boulder.
She's gonna pick up a rather large rock.
Okay, yeah.
And is going to chunk it.
At the Umberclaw.
At them?
Or not. Yorick's already charging, and just as you're about to throw it, Yorick's in the way, so you have to flick your wrist ever so slightly to the side. Yorick, you just see this boulder, this rock just whiz past your head before clattering harmlessly against the cavern rocks behind.
Let's see.
This
When
bitch.
you miss it. She's gonna use Hue if she can. So when you miss, no, that won't work because that's a ranged attack. Never mind.
Okay.
Let's see what she can do as a bonus action. I think She is just, she's good.
All right, Yorick.
Well, let the carnage flow. Round 2 with the Reggie. But we don't have an axe this time. We have a great big fucking sword in inverted commas.
We have a piece of iron to beat it to death with. And it's a Juster. Literally bang on the nose.
For 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
14 points of bludgeoning damage as you bring the blunt great sword down. There's a crack of ribs, a spatter of blood, and a painful yowl.
Go point.
Anything further?
No, that is my turn.
All right. Due to it being slammed in the ribs by this giant bar of iron, the Umberclaw leaps to the side, and you see the petal-like jaw start to quiver before unfolding completely. It raises its head back and lets out an ear-piercing yowl. Everyone needs to make me a wisdom saving throw, please. Oh my god.
Natural 20.
Oh.
Why not go? Oh, there it is.
Thea hates noise.
So Eggle, you are fine. Rungor is fine. Grom is fine. Yorick's fine. Katrina, Thea, you two are currently frightened as this high-pitched yowl echoes around the cavern, causing your ears to ring. You step back and gives you a moment of pause, so you cannot approach the Umberclaw unless you pass another wisdom saving throw for being frightened.
I blame the Hugh me blood.
So again, frightened creature has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of its fear is within line of sight, and you cannot willingly move closer to the source of its fear. You can repeat the saving throw at the end of your turn. If you succeed, it ends the effect. Alright. So that's the Umberclaw's action. Oh man. That's bonus action. Free runner. Means it can dash. It will then move. Let's have a look. So it's going to leap back away from Yorick. Yorick, you will get an attack. You would indeed. Yeah.
Okay.
It's quick.
Fucking lucky.
It's quick. It's then going to scamper over the rocks and then just go straight in to Thea. Now, if the Umberclaw moves at least 20 feet in a straight line towards a creature... Oh.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say
okay.
that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It will attempt to pounce on you. So, let's see what happens first. It needs to attack you with its claws. So with claws at the ready, Thea, you see the Umberclaw leap out towards you. Your head's ringing, a primal sense of fear in your soul from this horrific... Oh my good lord. First claw misses. Second claw as it's flying through the air towards you. Come on, big boy, let's go. 18 hits. So with that and the pounce, I need you to make a strength saving throw, please, Thea. As you are struck for 6 damage.
Ooh, hold on. Let me see if I have something that ups my strength real quick.
You got disadvantage because you're frightened.
Yeah, frightened of it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Let me look at my ferocity points. I thought I remember something about... Nope.
There was one which you initially thought of picking and then you didn't.
Yeah. God.
I do believe
Okay.
Yorick's got it though.
Yeah.
So I need a DC 15 strength saving throw. Disadvantage, please. You are knocked to the ground by the force of the Umbra Claw. So yeah, that's just on top of the 6 damage as it slams into you. Oh, lovely. Katrina, you're up.
Well, Katrina is currently afraid of the Umbra Claw, but she's also afraid for her her sibling who's just been knocked down by it. So she's gonna... Am I gonna target it? Who knows? But she is going to pull out the short bow
Okay.
that was slung across her back and
Put a shot into it.
there it is. Yeah,
It
take
is
one of her
at-
bone arrows.
It is at disadvantage because you are
Oh,
terrified.
yeah, delete that.
Oh, just roll,
Let me-
just roll another normal one if you want. We'll just take the lowest. We'll take the 14, which still hits. So through shaky hands, you line the arrow up, let it loose. It hits.
For 5 damage.
So it's better than a poke in the eye.
Mm-hmm.
Arrow slams into this beast of muscle and sinew. The claw's still on Thea at the minute as it lifts its head, looks towards Grom. The petal-like mouth just begins to wobble as it growls. Any further actions?
I'm gonna attempt. Nope, I
No.
did not save.
No, you are not approaching
That's
that.
my turn.
In that case, legendary action from the creature. With Thea on the ground. 2 tentacles rise up. With her being prone, will strike out towards Thea. First, oh my good lord, even with advantage. First one misses, second one. Also misses. Eggle, you're up.
Eggle hears this all going on from around the corner, so he's going to step around and just get out to here. And he's going to scurry and just snap his fingers at this thing, trying to hit it because he sees it on top of Thea, and this thing is a monster, and he doesn't like that.
Big numbers, big numbers. Oh, that'll do it. Needle strikes true. All right. In fact, I need to add that again because it's only doing 1. Let me change that to get rid of that. There we go. Sorted. Okay. Yep. The needle slams into the Umbra Claw for 3 points of poison damage. Anything further?
actions. No features. I think I'm spent.
Okay.
I will end turn.
Before the end of turn, it will use its last legendary action for that turn to strike out with two other tendrils towards Grom. Grom is going to get the first one. Come on, you beast! Strike! First tendril whizzes past you, Grom. Second tendril, same again. Alright, top of the turn, we now go to you, Grom.
Cool. Two tentacles have just switched past Grom's head. He didn't move. Just stares it down. Raises his staff. And sends a mental message to Rune. He just comes round. Behind this thing.
Burn.
And he just looks in the eye and says, burn.
And... Come on!
Oh, no. That's 7 damage.
But with that, yeah, Rune comes in, inhales, a gout
With
of
a mania
flame.
movement, it just gets out of dodge.
Alright.
So that's my action.
Okay.
My bonus action. Also, am I in? If I move, will I get an attack of opportunity?
No. It's only things immediate to it that are.
Cool.
It has reach, but because those are just the tendrils.
Okay.
So no, you're fine.
Cool. With my bonus action, I'm going to find a thing, and I'm going to command Fear to attack.
All right. Oh shit. What do you say to Thea?
Finish it.
Thea, you get a free attack.
All right. So Thea is going to pick up a rock that's bigger than the throat of the whatever the hell this is.
Mm-hmm.
Shove it in there, and she's gonna use her foot to further, like, because she's not gonna get up to do it. Like, she's gonna use her hands after she puts that in there to keep the mouth open, and then shove her foot in to further lodge the rock down the throat
Okay.
of this thing.
Uh-huh. As you stuff the rock in its mouth, you keep trying to hold it open, but all the sheer force behind the jaws is just too much, and it ends up just snapping shut. You whip your hand away at the last minute, but the rock that was in its mouth is just immediately turned to gravel as it crunches down on it. And at this point, it's now leans down into your face just with a... You get saliva, bits of rock, gravel, dust hit you in the face. Alright, that's Grom's turn. So, Thea, it's now to you. It's your actual turn. You've just tried to lodge this rock in its throat. Failed. What do you do?
She's incredibly disappointed, so she's gonna find, like, maybe a would there be something around her that would be sharp, maybe serrated
Yeah, you'd be pieces of shale, of rock, anything to hand.
There's an arrow sticking out of it
It
somewhere.
has an arrow sticking out of its head, yeah.
All right. Well, she'll attempt to grab the arrow.
Yep, you grab it.
And start to saw away at some bits. Maybe it's throat. I don't know.
Just stabbing it, cutting. Yeah.
Just stabbing it, whatever. It's on top of her. She's feeling violated.
That'd be awesome if you weren't scared of it. So I need to add roll me another one and we'll choose the
roll
lowest.
Another one.
Oh.
So she's gonna roll the damage on this, and it's gonna break as it's doing it because
Okay.
the skin is so tough.
Yeah. So that's 10 damage.
And then what is that though? 1d4.
1d4, yes. For
Did it
another
do it?
2. It did. All right. At this point, it's starting to look pretty rough. Blood's now pouring out of the previous axe wounds that were inflicted. The wound on its back from the spear, arrow sticking out of it. Oh, it's rough.
Is it done yet?
It's not done yet, though. You are covered in this purplish ichor as the blood begins to just pump out all over you, Thea. Now you can make a wisdom saving throw to try and get over the frightened condition. Should probably put that on actually.
I mean, she'll do that,
Mhm.
and then she'll also, since she did damage, she'll do her other thing.
This thing doesn't have a nose or a face.
Oh, it doesn't?
No. If at the start when you first encountered it, its whole face peeled back. So it doesn't really have a nose or a face that you can smash.
Yeah, it has flaps.
Yes.
So is the other eye still working?
Yeah, the one it's got a rib in one eye, but the other eye's good. So in that case, we'll go for a dexterity. And it just passes. Ooh.
This bitch. Okay.
Yeah, so smash nose. This trick has no effect on creatures without a face. So this is one of those creatures. Its face is its mouth.
And did I succeed on that wisdom saving throw?
With a 17, you did. You are no longer frightened of it.
Okay, so she's going to use a ferocity point.
Okay.
And which she can use my reaction to dive 10 feet away without provoking an
When
opportunity.
a creature misses you with a melee attack, you've got to be attacked first.
I'll get this shit. I promise.
I know you will. No,
I'll
don't.
get it.
This, as I said at the start, there is a lot of new stuff. Don't worry about it. We're all on a learning thing here, so don't apologize. It's all good. This is why I've thrown us into into this chill combat session from get-go, just so we can get to grips with the. Basically, everyone's got new characters, new classes that we've never played before. So don't worry about it.
All right. Well, she's gonna say, "Get this off of me."
Before Yorick can intervene, though. Thea. That more that was in your face, spraying spittle and gravel all over you, now strikes. And at the last minute, just as the petal-like mouth looms over you as if to swallow you up completely, you move to the side, and it just boom, crumples into the cave dirt below. Yorick, you're up.
Well, I'm gonna move. Yeah. And with a reckless attack, I'm gonna give him the good news.
All right. Great sword goes in and certainly does the job.
Oh. Actually, I'm gonna re-roll that damage.
Okay.
I use my shit stack ability.
Okay.
Class feature.
Yeah. Your background.
That's better. One more damage.
One more is better than nothing.
12 damages.
There's another crack as more bones are shattered. On the same side, I think, as well.
Oh, actually, that's 14. That should be +2 with my rage.
Okay.
I totally forgot about rage damage.
Should you have done it on the other one as well? Yeah, you should have done. So that would have
Yes.
been another 2.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Hey,
Alright.
real quick, I know
Mhm.
it's Yurik's turn, but since it missed on me, then I could have used
Correct.
that fury
Yeah.
point.
Do you want to do that?
Okay. Yes.
Yep. Absolutely.
Sorry,
Yep.
I had to.
No. Don't apologise. So yeah, throw up the thing again because I refunded the fury point for you.
Oh, where'd it go? That's not it.
Slip, I believe it is. You've got.
I like the name.
Slip. So, when a creature misses you with a melee attack, you can spend 1 frosty point and use your reaction to dive 10 feet away without provoking an attack of opportunity. When you land, you can make 1 ranged weapon attack against that creature. Do you want to throw a rock at it?
Yes.
Go for it.
And I'm no longer because
Kill
I
it
had
with
that
a rock
wisdom.
and
Because I'm no longer under the feared because I
Correct.
had the wisdom, so it's normal
Mm-hmm.
now.
Oh, just
Oh my god!
you skim the rock across. It hits it, but it just does nothing. It's too squishy. Or again, maybe you didn't give your all behind it.
Just won't talk about it.
Yorick, anything further from you? Is that you done?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Umbraclaw then. You've hurt it. It just wheels round. And... Oh. Yeah, it's just gonna have to go in on you. Full multi-attack, so 1 bite and 2 claw attacks we're gonna go with. So, first bite. The jaw looms in. Rows of teeth on the fleshy flaps. 19. This is rending damage. So this just goes straight through for 12.
I will use my reaction
Yep.
and gain temporary hit points
Okay.
equal to what I just took.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. So immediately after you take damage, you can use your reaction to spend 2 frosty points to gain temporary hit points equal to the damage. So yeah, you take the 12 points of damage, but you get 12 points of temporary HP.
Yep.
2 claw attacks. First claw swings in, followed by the second in short succession. First one, and
Both hit?
they both, almost to the point where it just latches onto you and tries to eviscerate you. So first one is 5 damage, second one is also 5 damage.
Take half of both of them.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Those are slashing, not rending, so you are good. That's the Umbraclaw done. Katrina, you are up.
Well, she's still afraid, so she can't get any closer. So she's gonna try and pew pew again.
Okay.
I forgot to do that at disadvantage.
So that just, oh, that's a shame as well. That's a shame.
Yeah.
Just roll another 20. Fine.
It's gonna be 21 will still hit.
Yeah. Six damage.
That's a good roll. The arrow slams into its rear, into its behind, and at this, I'm going to make a quick save. Okay. It starts to buckle. The amount of blood it's lost. You see its head twirl around looking fight or flight, now well and truly kicked in. There's only one way out of here, and you four are guarding its retreat. It can't go anywhere else, so all it can do is carry on. And you, seeing this, Katrina, brush off the fear.
Yay!
You realize this thing is now on its last legs. It's dying, or it's dead. It just doesn't know it yet. I'm gonna throw in a monstrous creature legendary action to weakly send in a couple of the barbed tentacles to Yorick.
Do it. Yes. No, never mind.
Oh my good lord. First tentacle strike, second tentacle strike. Come on! Just, they're not even striking now. They're just limply raising. They try and stab, but as soon as one of the tentacles hits you, Yorick, there's no power behind it. Eggle, put this thing out of its misery.
Well, the cruel irony of that is I don't think it will, even if I do enough damage. I'll tell you what I mean after.
Okay.
He's going to repeat. He's going to snap his fingers
Yep.
and fire a poison needle.
Okay. Oh,
Please.
oh just.
Normal.
So close.
Yeah.
Roll me.
6 points.
Are you all wanting this to Eggle to get this?
For the memes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, read the spell description.
Yeah, I have. That's why I'm letting you. That's why, it's up to you.
Because I don't think it doesn't kill.
Uh-huh.
It just paralyzes so someone else can coup de grace it.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good point. So I'm going to say it's literally, it's got 2 HP left. I'm going to say that with it fighting, what adrenaline's left, what blood still remains in it that's now pooling out, that needle was just enough to send it over the edge. And whilst it's not dead, it collapses in front of you, Yorick, as the poison. In fact, well, Eggle, what happens as the poison kicks in?
Essentially, what would appear to be like its body begins to shut down. It falls, belly down, its legs go up from underneath it, and it's trembling like it's trying to do something it just can't. So it's clearly not dead, but it's in a really bad way.
And at that, I think that's a good point for us to end combat. What do you all do?
Yorick is going to slam his blade down into the deck, point first, and then he's going to grab the beast, roll it onto its belly while it's shuddering, pulls out his knife and offers it handle towards Eggle, and he goes, "Skin it."
He's just looking at Yorick like it's not dead.
It will be. Skin it.
All right, so Eggle knows how York can be, so he's going to just come up, and he's just going to put his blade into the thing's neck to put it out of its misery.
Katrina's gonna creep up while that's happening and try and get her bow and arrows back.
Eggle, keep the guts, because that would be very good fertilizer for the god flesh.
Oh, don't you worry. We're gonna keep everything. It's all usable. No, Bert, excuse me. I'm just gonna.
I wasn't I was talking to Eggle.
All right, so Eggle has his own tools. He's going to try to do what he can to assist with this, or do what he can to try to skin it. And if anyone steps in, then, he'll let him take over, but he'll make a go of it.
York's just gonna be like, just like if you look unsure, he's just gonna be like, down here. Yeah, cut. No deeper. No shallower. What are you doing? Pull up, but yeah.
I think this would probably be a survival.
Absolutely. In fact, you can use the actual the survivor's tools to run that test on.
Tools. Sorry, it's in chat. Wisdom. Do I get advantage from York's assistance?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Solid.
Better than expected.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
So he's just going to be sawing away. He's going to be like, this is disgusting.
It's good. It's good.
People are one thing. This is something else.
Yeah, it's rancid. It's good.
And I thought it smelled bad on the outside.
Is there anything in particular that you folks are wanting from this creature? Or is it just a case of harvesting flesh and stuff to act as food or sustenance for the Haven?
It's teeth.
Yeah, and like bones, anything that could be used as a crafting material to make things out of. That's what
It's tentacles.
Katrina will be looking out for.
Thea wants to take. Does it have a stomach, like a large stomach, so that we could take some of that fresh water back to the Haven?
Yeah, absolutely. In that case,
Glom's
then. Go on. Yeah, no, go on.
Gonna dip his hand in the blood and just walk round till he's next to Thea, slather it across the forehead. First hunt. And then walk over to Katrina and do the same.
I wish you would ask for permission first.
And Katrina just looks so fucking proud of herself.
And then to Eggle.
And finally caked in claret at this point.
Yeah. It's the thought that counts. And then to Yorick, he just slaps his whole hand on Yorick's chest. There's a big purple handprint.
Or more likely, that's kind of, there's a
It's now the clean spot.
clean spot. You just wipe the blood off. All right. So, frustratingly, this is the one thing that I haven't added in as a roll table yet. So, in regards to bones, Katrina, roll me a d6. Two. I will throw in.
Yeah, so to clarify, I'm looking for bones that will be good for like needles, and other like weapons, spear tips, like for that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. In that case, I'm going to see if this works rather than me do it. In the Cradle of Ruin items, under resources and bone, If you want to grab yourself 2 bone bundles. Thea, roll me a D. In fact, it's just going to be 1. Grab from the items some caustic bile. And a bundle of hide.
Yep.
Yorick, you're going for trophies. Is that for the tentacles? Is that correct?
Yeah, the tentacles.
All right. Tentacles are classed as a trophy. So if you roll me a D3.
3. Of course, it's not D3 fucking dice.
Yeah. D4 minus 1. No, 4 slash R, D3. I'll have these as roll tables going forward, just so you can just click a thing. So, yeah, grab 2 trophies.
So Cradle.
Cradle,
items, is it?
resources, creature. Anything anybody else wants?
Yeah.
Go for it.
This thing's teeth were
teeth?
incredibly dangerous.
They
and
were.
sharp. So he's thinking that those are going to be a great tool, and anything that doesn't get used can become like arrowheads or like part of a war club or something. So that's what he's trying to get at.
In that case, roll me.
This is in Cradle of Ruin items.
Cradle of Ruin items, yep. And then there's a resource folder. And these are your crafting resources.
Got it. Okay, I'm there.
Same again. Go give me a D3, please, Eggle. And these will be classed as trophy for the moment. Grab yourself 3 trophy items from... So it's going to be down to you guys to make a note of what you've harvested if you have something specific in mind. So the trophy items are the extra cool little bits that you want to make cool stuff with. And that's the easy catch-all way of doing it, rather than me making 1,000,001 items for all the different bits and pieces.
Smart.
So again, you know, maybe it's not just 3 teeth. It's, you know, a handful of teeth constitutes a trophy, and then we can discuss later down the line what you want to make with them and what it'll cost.
Sounds good.
I suppose it's just all that's left is the skin and the meat.
Yeah. So with skin, you can either grab hide or fur. If you want to roll me a D4 for that, and then you can either get meat for you to consume, or we can turn it into something called Haven Resources, which is just shit you can pawn off into the Haven when we get there. Fucking hell.
I think Haven Resources right now for the meat.
Okay. So, with the 4 for the fur, so you can take your choice of up to 4 hide or fur, and then last but not least, someone roll me a D8.
It wasn't rolled.
This will be a bit more streamlined going forward.
Skip it to jump.
Yeah, go on, jump. Roll me a D8. Yeah, this will be a lot more streamlined going forward. It'll literally be a roll table you can just click on and it'll get the shit sorted. I just haven't had the time to get it implemented. All right,
Fair.
3. So, Haven Resources. I will throw them in. So Thea, you should have Resources Haven, and grab yourself 3 Haven Resources. So this whole process of you carving out the Umbra Claw, removing the innards, washing them to be useful, to carry water back, that's also going to be an extra couple of things for Thea. I'll sort that later. Yeah, so regardless, it takes a little bit of time, you know, a couple of hours easy for you to start dissecting this into parcels to be carried back. Now, granted, this is a large creature. You can't haul everything from it back. Hence, these rolls are to simulate just key parts or just enough that you can carry. So you don't harvest everything down to its pure core. Granted, if you had a beast of burden and wanted to spend more time, you could. But that's something we'll look at in future. So yeah, hours pass. You eventually get the various bits and pieces you feel you'll need. Trophies of the kill, resources for the haven, and a few necessary items that you hope to craft yourself. And with that said, time-wise, it's probably now starting to grow a little dark. Or at least on the cusp of it being late afternoon, early evening. What's the plan?
Well, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, we're doing this once Eggle gets the teeth off this thing. He's gonna go check over its nest just to make sure that there's nothing in there that's interesting. But that's just his follow-up to getting the teeth off this thing.
Gore, bones, skeletons of various half-eaten creatures, shit, just usual muck from a wild beast such as this. Nothing really catches your eye. There is a few odd sacks and a few humanoid-looking skeletons, but again, the vast majority of the sacks have been bitten, chewed open, whatever contents have either been shattered over the months or years they've been here, or are just sadly unusable.
All right. That is satisfactory.
Katrina?
Night is approaching.
Gromp, do you think that, we should just take advantage of the cave and the fact that most other creatures around here probably respect the fact that a dangerous predator lives here, and maybe camp out in the front portion for tonight? What do you guys think?
Did you just call him Grumpy?
No. I called him Grom.
We don't want to be outside at night without the bones protection.
Well, the front of the cave, if we go and get something from outside to maybe blockade it with, might be our best bet.
Something big to block the cave. Got it. And Yorick just fucking trumps off.
Oh, and firewood. And so Eggle's going to go with him to try to scavenge some stuff to start a little flame to keep them warm, potentially, if needed.
Excellent. So, with that then, you spend the next few hours, Yorick out. What are you grabbing? Anything in particular?
What? To cover the cave entrance?
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna look for the biggest boulder he can and just start trying to push it over the entrance.
Eggle's gonna go and grab like thorn bushes and anything like that he can find.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to cover, we just need to dissuade anything from trying to come in.
Oh, okay.
We don't need to get sealed inside of a cave with a dead, whatever, umber claw that's rotting.
Right. Okay. She's gonna just knock up a couple of fucking, like, chop the ends off some branches and just make some big pikes to put out front, so there's like a little pikey barricade that he just jams in the ground. And he goes, "Yeah, that'll work."
Excellent. And Eggle's going to throw some thorn bushes and stuff over there, so if there's anything small that tries to get through, it'll get caught and make noise. You know, just generally dissuade anything from trying to get in here.
Awesome. So that's what you two are up to. Inside the cave, obviously, Eggle, you were looking for a bit of firewood as well. You managed to pull twigs, branches, toss them into the cave whilst you're working for the rest. What are the other three doing in the cave at this moment in time, as night's starting to slowly set in?
I've taken the canvas that we would use for one of our shelters and I've hung it over the door so light won't escape the cave from the fire.
Katrina's kind of set her bedroll out near the fire and is attempting to take the lead on doing a little bit of cooking, or preparing of a meal.
What's on the menu?
Umberclaw.
Umberclaw offcuts.
Mm-hmm. Umberclaw kebabs.
Question. Any of the head, tentacle, or tail meat being used?
No.
Okay.
These are like rib cuts.
That are incredibly tender, no doubt, at this point, especially on one side.
I do what I can.
Thea would have been gathering the rocks with her strength for like creating kind of the outer ring of the fire, and would be occasionally snacking on some stale godflesh.
Godflesh has been mentioned a few times. Before we dive onto Rune, does anybody want to give me a brief description of what Godflesh is? Not so much about its origins yet. We'll no doubt find out what that is next week. But just in the what's this Godflesh that you keep referring to? What are these Godflesh rations?
Mushies.
Hypnotic taste bud titillation mushy things.
They're mushrooms that grow at our home.
Absolutely, yes. Godflesh is a type of mushroom that is grown in the home where the party originate from, a place called Hollow Rest. They are dried over an extended period of time and are incredibly chewy and extremely unappetizing. Stringy, sinewy, hardly palpable, but nutritious. And these are the main rations that a lot of the scavengers from Hollow Rest use to feed themselves when out in the field. So for Thea to actively enjoy Godflesh, she's a freak.
Oh yeah, and I think it's because she's constantly around it, and it's a sign of pride to be able to stomach it.
It's like Marmite.
But you gotta eat it whether you fucking like it or not.
All right. Anything anyone else wishes to do or bring forth? Because I think now you've got a bit of downtime as night draws in. Grom, and you and Rune.
I was just going to say that Rune was assisting by lighting the fire.
Yep, with a hiccup and a burp. Fire is lit.
And he settles into my hood for a snooze.
With the entrance now secured with bushes, a makeshift palisade, spikes to deter any larger prey or predators for that matter. Eggle, Yorick, you step into this now somewhat homely cave. Smell of food in the air, roasting meat, warm fire. Beds have been unfurled. Granted, they're not the most comfortable of mattresses. It's a hard rock floor, and most of these bedrolls are just old throws, skins, furs from animals. But this is not an unfamiliar experience to you all. Is there any nighttime banter or any activities going on here?
I suggest we split the vigil tonight between us.
Yeah. And keep it quiet.
I will take first half of the night.
Suits me fine. And Yorick gets as comfortable as he can in this shitty fucking damp cave that smells of death.
Death and meat.
Let's just get this over with so that I can go back to being miserable in peace.
Wake me when it's my turn, Grump. I'll take over you.
Understood.
How's everybody's injuries?
Still not bleeding, so good. And she gives a thumbs up.
Thea?
I've been worse before this, but I admittedly have a few scratches.
I'm sure if you could manage to ask nicely, Eggle might help out. and I'm just gonna lie down and get comfy.
Hmm? What are you? And he's looking over. Are you injured?
I have some abrasions here.
And so he's just going to try to assess and see if it's anything he can help with, or if it's just something she has to recover from.
So, with this now going into a short rest. Now, as per our previous campaign, our short rests are 8 hours long. It is a night's sleep. Long rests are anywhere from 3 days and onwards, depending on how long of a downtime people want, but long rests can only be done in the confines of a safe haven. Being in a cave in the middle of the potentially one of the most dangerous forests in the world is not somewhere you can get a long rest. Now, we do have some camp activities, things that mechanically help you all or provide a bit of a prompt for RP and stuff. And one of those camp activities is Tend Wounds. Tend Wounds, you tend the wounds of an injured ally, applying medicinal herbs, dressing cuts and gashes. Make a medicine test on a success. The ally recovers 1 death save and a 1d8 HP. That's on top of the hit dice spent when you short rest. So,
Okay.
As for you, because you are an apothecary, the failure by 5 or more doesn't come into effect. So that would just be a A medicine check from you.
Okay. So medicine there says intelligence, and medicine in the character sheet is wisdom. Does that matter?
No. Just use your normal medicine.
Okay. Well, doesn't seem like there's much I can do here. Just make sure that it doesn't get infected.
And how do you propose that I do that?
Don't make it any worse than it already is.
So don't touch it. Can you cover it with anything? Or am I just gonna lay on this ground and kind of...
My father used to use fresh urine.
Well,
I'll rip some clothing from
in
what
lieu
I
of
have.
that,
Please don't pee on me.
you'll use more goblin glue just to keep it sealed and from getting infected, etc. He's going to disinfect the wounds.
Excellent.
Eggle, I would rather have goblin glue than uric piss on me at this moment.
Well, there are medicinal properties to some urine in some cases, but just pissing in open wounds is probably not it.
Yeah,
No,
but
that's probably not going to be helpful, Thea. You just relax. You know, you did good today, and you know it's our first hunt went well. You know, let's just get a good night's sleep and focus on getting home to mom.
Are we at the silent part of the night yet?
Besides, it's hardly like it's the first time you've had a hideous beast on top of you.
That's true. She takes after mom.
I've tussled more aggressive orcs than that thing before. Some good memories.
Katrina is just sitting by the campfire, going over her equipment, anybody else's equipment, just, you know, kind of touching up, maybe doing a little, making an arrow or two from her bones. She's just kind of like puttering until the sleepy time.
If you want, because Egil went out and got some wood, if you want to make some extra wooden arrows, you can. Would you like to know how to do it, if you wish to stock up without having to need to ask the DM? You should have... Let's go with that for the moment. No, hang on. Hang on, that's the wrong thing. Did I make the thing after all? No, that's just something.
Let's say that she's not making
Yeah.
the arrow. She's maybe just crafting, kind of like starting to shape out like
Sure.
spear
Shafts.
tips. Yeah, shafts.
Yeah.
And you know,
If you do, just grab some wood from the items and make some wooden arrows if you need them. But yeah, that's fine.
And she's like probably cleaning the bones from the gristle and everything since they're fresh. So
Absolutely. Anybody else doing anything?
I'm going around looking at people's clothing. Anywhere there's rips or bite marks for it, I'm casting mending and closing the rip.
Excellent. Anything from you, Yorick?
No, I'm just gonna quietly contemplate the battle and just be like, yeah, it was a good fight.
Cool. So then, with a relatively good meal in your stomachs, Grom taking first watch, the rest of you settle in for the night. The sounds of the forest keep wouldn't say you get the most pleasant night's sleep. The odd call from a beast outside, sounds of fighting between other animals echoes across the forest. But your preparations for keeping things out hold. Nothing sneaks in. Nothing endangers you. And Yorick, were you on second watch?
Yeah, second watch.
Alright. As the morning begins to rise, Yorick, you begin to wake everyone up. How would you go about
So
doing it?
everybody get a meaty
Everyone-
poke in the face.
Yep, and for those who need it,
Yeah.
this is your prompt for a short rest.
I haven't slept because I've been in a trance all evening.
Okay?
No hit dice remaining to roll during this rest? What?
Let me refresh them for you. Oh, you've got the camp activity selected. If you deselect it,
Okay.
Very tired camp.
it is a very tired camp.
Where am I?
If you just draw a box somewhere, it should get rid of it.
There we are.
All right. So, with bundled bone, slabs of meat wrapped in leaves, or have you got a bag you put them in?
What, the hunks of meat?
Mm-hmm.
I probably wrapped it in like one of my bedroll or something. 'Cause
Nice.
I've got a bedroll and a blanket, so I just wrap them in that. And I'm like, yeah, fuck it. We'll figure that out later on.
So, with all the goodies, the spoils secured, slung over shoulder, tied to backpacks or belts around your waist, other straps, you begin to set off back south, southwest, in the direction of Hollow Rest. And here we shall bring up the world map. Da 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 da. Let's have a zoom out and view the world, shall we? As everyone can see, it's considerably large. But at this moment in time, we are only focused on this small region here. This being the group deep in the Great Forest. To the south, southwest lies the haven of Hollow Rest. It is 24 miles. Quite the distance, but one that you would be able to cross in a day. Granted, by the time you get to Hollow Rest, it would no doubt be starting to get dark. My
Would the
question...
watch would have started by the time we get there?
Absolutely. So that brings me to the next question for you all. the montage home.
Do we? So can I ask a question
Of course you
around
can.
that?
Absolutely.
Like, so if the watch has already started, do we have a signal that we can let them know that it is the party that's coming back?
We'll find out next episode on that one. For the moment, the main and current problem is what do you all do to get back there? What sort of things would you all do to assist or guide? You tell me what the journey back looks like.
Well, Yorick is probably going to be the resident pack horse.
Katrina is going to use her natural lore abilities. Like she took very good note of their travels and everything, so she's going to try and help navigate their way home.
Thea would be helping your, like, drag things.
Through the dirt.
I'll be assisting with pathfinding using Rune as a scout. So we can get like a dragon's eye view of what's going on.
And I would say Katrina is probably like shoulder to shoulder with Grom, like taking notes from how he, navigates and like suggestions and things like that. Like trying to learn.
Excellent. Eggle, anything in particular you will be doing on this journey back?
Just because the world here is weird. He's just going to try to make note of anything that they encounter, like as far as resources, and just try to help make sure they don't get lost.
Okay. So with that in mind then, the group sets out on the journey home. Now, normally there'd be some rolls and what you see, what do you find, but with this being episode 1, journey back is relatively uneventful. What we will do, though, is just a little bit of world building, if you are all interested in regards to what you see on the journey back.
Yeah.
Starting off then with where you are now, the Great Forest. Great Forest is located northeast of Hollowrest. It's protected on pretty much all sides by mountain ranges, bar from, again, on the western side. It's ancient, vast, and completely merciless. It stretches out for miles in every direction, and its canopy is a tangled mass of green leaves that most of the time block out the sky, apart from the odd lucky moments where, as you experienced earlier, there are clearings. It's dense, overgrown, treacherous, certainly not a place of safety. One of danger, a predator in its own right. In fact, the Umbra Claw, if that's the predator, then the Great Forest itself is its god, the overarching big bad. Those who enter the depths of the Great Forest typically do so warily, for the forest does not welcome strangers, it consumes them. Trees here are monstrous in size, their roots thick, gnarled, and they burrow deep into the broken earth like claws. Again, thorned undergrowth can easily tear at flesh. The bushes that Eggle, you grabbed earlier, would no doubt be prime examples of this. The other thing is, with the Great Forest, there are a multitude of unseen ravines that lie hidden beneath carpets of moss, and the air here is oppressive in its stillness. It's never silent, and never comforting. There's always movement. There's always something rustling just out of sight. There's always something watching from the branches, from the treetops. And the great corruption, the withering, has not spared the Great Forest. It lingers in the darker parts, the shadowed glades. Again, the withering, omnipresent, corrupting, chaotic force. Magical in nature, but no one knows exactly where it came from. All they know is you stay clear. Some of the trees here in the forest are, especially some of the larger ones, are completely hollow. Their interiors carved away, which provide no end of cover and shelter for travellers like yourselves or the multitude of beasts that call this place home. And on the topic of beasts, there are many that roam through the forest. Some old, massive in size. They move trees with each step. Others smaller, but still just as dangerous, perhaps venomous. And last but not least, even some of the trees themselves, or the plant life here in the forest, is known to be problematic at best. Things such as carnivorous plants, poisonous mushrooms, all live here. Going back to how we opened this campaign, this entire world is not for the sane of mind. And it certainly requires individuals of strong will or great hope to make a living here. That being the forest, though, west of the forest is the other larger biome that you would be familiar with. A section of land called the Barren Plains. Where the forest begins to wither away, the Barren Plains begins. Trees that grow here are sparse. Weary, their roots dig into a drying earth. Whilst it's not desert, it's certainly inhospitable. Fractured, almost. The forest grip loosening as the ruin of the world presses in. There are still many people here who do make a living in the Barren Plains, hidden beneath a few boughs or sheltered amongst rocks and cliffs. Beyond the thorns, there are havens. Not havens like Hollow Rest, more like encampments, enclaves, range from 10 to perhaps 30, 40 individuals. They hunt, they scavenge, of course they fight. Everyone knows that the forest doesn't shelter, it tests, hence the safer option being west of it. As for Hollow Rest itself, it sits in this awkward nook, both between the Barren Plains and the Great Forest. You have the deadly wildlife from the forest who occasionally peek out, along with the unpleasant temperature and biome, climate even, of the wastes. Of the Barren Plains. And that's before we even start talking about what's south of Hollow Rest, but I think we'll leave that part, a place known as the Ashen Wastes, to another time. That is naught but crevasses, rocky outcrops, ruin, desolation. There, the land is in full... in the process of fully turning to ruin, to ash. Any questions?
So nothing bothers us on the way back, eating, considering we're moving fucking dinner tray.
At this moment in time, no. Since you've been in and out of the forest within 2 days, 3 days, nothing's really caught your scent. And you've mapped out the route you came in, and you just follow that back. Now, that's not to say that in future things will change. Not every journey there and back is safe, but on this instance, as luck, fate would have it, you are safe.
Okay. In that case, Yorick looked at Thea, who was dragging her portion of the goods, and he'd just go, "No, give it," and he'll shoulder the burden at the cost of exhaustion, because it's annoying him.
You're not as lazy as I thought you were.
Oh, yeah. Wish I could return the sentiment. I failed to do so. He's just going to tramp off.
Another question.
Mm-hmm.
So we wouldn't have identified anything having kind of the withering sickness or within like any that we captured or within things that we see coming back.
There is an element of withering in all things. The fact that the mutated head and the fleshy part of the Umbra Claw was due to withering. And the fact you didn't eat it was good. But no, nothing overly problematic crops up. You don't come across any glades that are completely corrupted at this moment in time. You don't see any weirder creatures, should I say, or anything unnatural, such as the dead walking.
Perfect.
Anything further from anyone?
Katrina seems to be thoroughly enjoying herself and is having a blast.
Just really
It's not
pleased with
surprising.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, then, let's see how long it takes us all to get back. Or whether we can shave some time off.
Oh!
I
Dot,
need...
dot, dot, dot.
Oh, guys.
So, the homesteader failed. She should have stayed at home, but everyone else, golden. Dragging the remains, your spoils of the hunt through the wilderness. There are a few times where, in fact, Yorick, complication.
Yeah.
You get beset by a few mongrel-looking beasts. What do you do to fend them off?
With my arms full, I literally just punt one of them. just fucking field goal kick it. So it fucks off in the opposite direction to stop the rest of them getting any funny ideas.
Excellent.
And I'll chase them about a bit till they fuck off.
Yep. Yep. A few hours later, Eggle, how do you overcome a complication for the better? Anything spring to mind, or do you want a prompt?
Let's see. The following the whole dog fiasco, it's not a long trip, but the direction, the space between the trees here is pretty wide open, so we start to veer off course. And Eggle, noticing the direction of the sun, just tells everybody that we need to course correct a bit. So we don't lose much time at all, but it's a minor thing.
Minor things add up. Katrina, how do you overcome a small complication for the better?
With her sunny disposition and boundless optimism.
Is it a particular problem that occurs, or give me something to work with?
Yeah, sorry. She gets distracted frequently by the sights and sounds around them, so every once in a while she has to kind of like, nope, you focus, focus. So it's her own mind. Like, she's just trying to perceive everything and like take it all in, and like get sidetracked from her navigation duties, which is why Eggle had to course correct them.
Brilliant. Grom, what about you? A complication that occurs on the way home that you either correct or a boon befalls the party.
Whilst looking through the eyes of Rune flying away, we spot another party
Oh, okay.
quite a ways in the distance. So we stop as we've got some good meat and that on us.
Mm-hmm.
We take a little break from walking and let the other group pass us by. It only cost us 15 minutes or so.
Then I'm actually going to
fight for our spoil.
I'm going to jump in there. Is this other group from Hollow Rest, or are these other survivors?
They're not from Hollow Rest.
Excellent. So, just as you're departing the forest proper, getting to where the trees are now starting to space out a little more, Grom, you stop the party, alert them that there are other individuals on their way. As you take pause, 10, 15 minutes pass, and you start to see a group of 4 people approach. Seem to be of humanish descent. Some slightly pointed ears, another a more charcoaly colour to their skin. And as they see you, all of them slowly just rest their hand on the daggers and blades on their waist. Not as in a threatening manner, but this is the first port of call when you see other intelligent individuals here. One of them steps forward, a rather large gentleman. Fur, or like a loincloth, then a old leather jacket or leather piece of armor thrown over the top. A long bow rests over his shoulder, arrows, and then 2 short swords at his side. Hair, sort of charcoaly black, that seems to match his complexion, which is also a very dark skin tone.
Rare to see wanderers this far into the forest. Never mind folks such as yourself.
The man offers a respectful nod to the group.
All a rest.
State your name and your business.
The lead gentleman looks back at his 2 companions, nods, and
Derek of Clear Water. Been out on escapade for the last few weeks. Returning home. Hopefully. With what remains of us.
you are familiar with Clearwater. It is a haven. On the other side of the Great Forest. Whether any of you've been there, different story, but you've certainly heard of Clearwater.
My brow furrows as you go. You say we're a long way from home. What are you doing this far out?
We were sending a caravan south, but, well...
Emotions behind him. You see no caravan. You see no wagon. You see no beasts of burden. You just see one gentleman flanked by 2 others who have seen better days. And with a somewhat half-toothless grin.
Ravine. Tried to get the beasts of burden out, along with the barrels, but, well, as you can see, was not to be. Making deliveries in the plains to a few of the small settlements, a few, well, doesn't matter now.
Yorick's eyeballing them for any signs of the withering.
Roll me a perception check.
I would be looking too.
All right. You too. Roll me a perception check.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah, those
Katrina
who are-
would get in on that too.
Yeah. Anyone who's eyeballing them.
I think it'd be like first nature for everybody just to be like,
Yorick, I can say straight off the bat, because you're currently speaking to the lead, he too's eyeing you as you're eyeing him. The other 2 individuals are a little further back, so Grom, you can't really get much of a bead on the other 2. You're, by the sound of it, just either keeping a lookout around or continuing scouting with Rune. Unless you have anything else you wish to do.
Yes, I'm going to call Rune back to make sure there's no one else hiding in the vicinity.
Excellent. All right, so
I'm
it's
having
yep.
trouble pulling my character up. I'm on the camp activities.
Hold left click and just draw a box somewhere, and then that should allow you to bring it up. If not, top right, actors. Go down to players, and then your couch sheet from there.
Okay.
Yeah, I may have to. Alternatively, if you double click the old Hollowbound token, you can access your couch sheets from there. Fancy that?
Could I say that Katrina is closely evaluating the appearance and condition of the party, trying to see if they look like they've been in combat, had better days, that kind of thing, how well fed they are.
Absolutely. Whilst we wait for the roll, I will give that to you. So, Katrina, as Yorick's speaking with the leads, you begin to assess the other two individuals behind him. The other two don't seem to have the jovial, welcoming disposition that this leader has. Their skin's a little pale, bags under the eyes, a rather forlorn expression. They're smiling, but they're not smiling with their eyes. This is very much a painted on. Their eyes appear almost dead inside. As for the wounds and condition, there's no signs of combat, but there's certainly signs of a long trek through dangerous wilderness with little supplies. One of the individuals seems to have a traveler's cloak fully wrapped around them. And the last...
You said there were just two others?
Yeah, just two. There's three in total. The leader, and then two other gentlemen who don't have the sunny disposition of the gent trying to lead them through this hellhole. Thea, you would see the same. So in regards to... Go on.
I just feel like, I guess you've got nothing for trade then.
Sadly not. No. No, apart from a blade and... No. I'll be honest, things have been a little entertaining on the way through. My companions...
And he turns around, looks at them, and they smile, but that weary smile.
Oh, come on, boys. Cheer up. We're nearly home. It's not too far away now, is it?
What's the blade made out of?
This.
He reaches down, takes the dagger from his belt, spins it so he holds the blade and offers it out towards you, Yorick.
I'll take it and give it a look over.
It's iron. It's an iron knife. The handle's made of bone. Not to the quality that you're all used to, but sturdy. Well looked after, clean. No signs of rust. Only one nick in the blade, which is more towards where the handle is.
They've got 3 of the legs from the Umber Claw, and it goes the knife for meat.
A knife for the meat? Are you... I mean, I...
And he just drops like the smallest leg.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he goes, the knife for the meat.
He extends a hand. grinning happily.
He'll just take it like wrist to wrist, as
Yeah.
opposed to like hand to hand, like
Yeah.
a warrior's grasp. And he'll go,
When we make ourselves comfortable back home in Clearwater, if you visit, ask for Derek. And I will make sure that you are fed, watered, looked after.
How far are we from where we came from in the hills forest? Like, is it?
So you started there. It's a 24-mile trip from where you were back to home. It's also the same 24 miles from where you were to Clearwater.
Okay. So Eggle's gonna just kind of come up to the front, still behind Yorick, because people don't generally react well to goblins.
That's
he's
true.
Gonna point back, and he's gonna just say, "Back that way, on your path, there's a cave with a bit of fresh water coming up from the ground. Safe to drink. If you need shelter. There may or may not be a dead Umberclaw in there. If you could pick over what's left."
At that, the other two, their eyes go wide in surprise, and for a brief moment it seems as if colour has just flushed into their skin. And the wiry individual who's currently wrapped in a cloak, roaring of clear water, shelter and food, you said. Not too far?
half
Just-
a day.
Yes. There's a hole in the cliff face there. If you go along there, you'll be able to find it. Most like. Just follow our trail back.
The large gentleman, Derek, grins even wider, splays his arms out to the side.
See? I told you both. Water always flows, and where the flow takes us is where we will be safe and home. We knew. The others, they didn't believe, but you two. Fortune. Fortune favors Clearwater.
Thea just kind of looks at Yurik and whispers, "Every day is a new opportunity to get more annoyed."
Rurik just hand signs, "Shut up," really slowly.
Well, I don't have anything further that I could entice you with to escort us back to Clearwater. We're more than familiar with the prowess of the denizens of Hollow Rest, but no, with food and shelter for a night, you have my gratitude. I hope has been restored, starting to...
And he leans in closer to you, Yorick.
Starting to be a little concerned for my companions, but thank you.
And they'll nod towards Eggle as well. There is a slight moment of hesitation as he looks at the goblin, but then just respectfully bows his head to you, Eggle.
And Eggle's just going to give him like a little salute he's seen some of the others do to people, and he's going to get back out of the way.
Then with food in our grasp and shelter ahead, I wish you all a safe journey.
Safe journeys, friends.
And with that, the three Derek hands the leg to the frail-looking man, and he just holds it to his chest like it's the most prized possession in the world as they begin to make their way deeper back into the Great Forest. Northeast, going through the deeper parts of the woods to get to the other end.
Yorick, may I see that knife?
He flipped it over in his hand and handed it like handle first.
Not the greatest of workmanship. Let me... And I run a finger either side of the blade. And cast Mending. And Nick's now gone. Should serve you better now.
And he's gonna then hand the blade to Thea and be like, "A good blade's worth its weight out here."
Are you giving this to me?
I can take it back if you want. It's a nice knife.
Surely not as formidable as the rocks you find around your feet.
Listen, I'll take whatever I can and bash whatever I can.
And he'll hand over the knife.
All right.
Take care of it.
She'll take it.
There is now
Slightly smirk, a smile.
There is now a dagger in your inventory.
You better not ask for this back.
So, not only have you got a weapon, you've also now got the location of the nearest haven. Substantial haven. Probably the best way to put it. Nicely done, Grom.
And we now have a cave halfway there. We can spend the night.
Yep. I will make sure I put a marker on the map for that as well later. Which brings us to the last roll for the journey home, and that was the failure of Thea. So, Thea, on the journey back, a complication occurs that doesn't pan out exactly how you'd hope. What happened?
Oh, with Yurik now taking all of it and pulling all of it himself, he's kind of encumbered a little bit and is not watching where he's going. So the sack of meat that he has that he's pulling in his blanket goes across a rock, and it just kind of all just like a lot of the stuff that he's carrying just kind of spills out, and she's having to go behind him because he's tired.
Doesn't stop.
And she's like, stop. Oh, gosh, useless. Everybody, we have to pick all these pieces up. And she kind of stops the group and is directing them to pick pieces up and making sure that they are able to package all the stuff to get back. But this takes some time because she was in front of Yurik for a little bit and didn't notice that he was leaving trails of it. So we had to go back a little ways to make sure that we got all of the items.
So, luckily, in spite of this small hiccup as the roll basically deposited a good amount of your goods across a stretch of the forest, the other interactions still managed to help shave some time off. So instead of reaching Hollow Rest at nightfall, you begin to reach it, or imagine you'll reach it before it's too dark, before the watch begins. And it's here where, as the forest seems to peel back a stretch of roughly a mile, 2 miles of just barren wasteland. Very little plant life growing in this circular 2-mile circumference. Oh, sorry, 2-mile radius. But what you can see in the center of this flat 2-mile desolate circle is what appears at first glance to be a large jagged rock. A small mountain, perhaps. A mountain that has several protrusions that seem to reach towards the sky. This is a familiar sight. A warming sight. Because this is home. The last 2 miles seem to take longer than the rest of the trip, as you're just so close to home now. Dirt cracks beneath your feet. But this mountain begins to grow closer and closer until it's revealed in its full glory. It's not a mountain. Not exactly. It's a ribcage. Built into rocks and cliffs, or perhaps should I say the rocks and cliffs have rose around these colossal skeletal remains. Now, 100 or so meters out from the entrance, the only entrance, is Hollow Rest. And I think we'll pick up exactly what Hollow Rest is next week. Seem fair?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to do here now that we're home.
Mm-hmm.
And me describing Hollow Rest in itself is going to be, you know, a little bit of... you've heard me waffle enough on episode 1. But with that, I think, yeah, that's a good point for us to bring episode 1 of Cradle of Ruin to a close.
Mm.
It's good to be back.
Jeez.
Right.
Oh, dear. So, with that then. Yeah, players, welcome back. Twitch, welcome back. It's been a month since we last did this. Gonna dive in quickly. Nikki, thank you for the resub, and Cacophony has already just called out this mind of mine for their resub. It doesn't come up on Twitch, but Cacophony knows all. Thank you very much. The support is appreciated. A month, it was too long. With that said, though, players, anything you wish to say before we bounce?
How about
Bye,
that
chat.
intro, though?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, and one thing we forgot to say earlier.
Go on.
Happy birthday with DM.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's your birthday.
Not today. It was a couple of days ago. I flew under the radar with that one. I'm like, nah.
You thought you had.
I thought I had. Son of a bitch. But yeah, I'm going to flick us back over to the end screen. Probably mute you guys up, and I'll have a quick waffle with chat.
Well then,
Yeah.
Goodbye, chat.
yes.
Bye, chat.
Yeah.
Goodbye,
Bye.
chat.
Good. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll have some grumbling to do in peace.
And see you next time for the Cradle of Ruin.
Love it. All right. So let's throw on this. That. And flick over to the ending.